25 episodes. What started as an idea has become something bigger. A journey of courage, grit, and transformation. And today, I want to take you back through that journey. This isn't just a highlight reel. It's a celebration of the voices, the stories, and the moments that have shaped Savage Success Live. These are the sparks that lit the fire, the dreams that started it all. Every dream begins with a spark, a moment where courage meets imagination. But dreams alone aren't enough. The real journey starts when you show up, do the work, and build something brick by brick.
We are a society of people that stop dreaming because we don't know we can dream. We stop dreaming because in the world we become robotic. We move in motions because we wear the hat of a mom. We wear the hat of a boss, a sister. We can't take risks. We're scared to take risks. What is a dream? A dream is something that you imagine and you're thinking, no, that's impossible for me to gain. And you have to want it. You have to desire it. And it starts with a dream that you want to accomplish. And one of the biggest things that I've learned, I had stopped dreaming. And the minute I start dreaming again, everything is starting to happen.
It's our own limitations or self-doubt or fear. Can I do this? Is there real value here? Will I have clients that will see that and will actually be willing to pay for that? It's a very digital world. Maybe you're not super techie, and that's definitely me. So just working through those obstacles, what has to carry you through is your passion and your positivity. And just really, again, there's that confidence, just acting with that confidence that, no, I have real value here. Because if you're doing business right and you're doing it well, it shouldn't be about what's in it for you. It should be about what are my clients going to be able to get from this.
As an entrepreneur, confidence is very important. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody is going to believe in yourself. Yep. If you cannot see that it's more than just you or just for you, then I think you're going to have those feelings of, I'm sorry that I'm marketing to you again. Or I don't want to be annoying. You're there to fill a need. What I do with photography serves a purpose. The main benefit is for the women and the couples that I work with because I get to see that glow up. And I want to see more people with glow ups. As an entrepreneur, first you have to believe in yourself. Then you have to believe that what you have is worth giving away. That is worth somebody doing it. Why would anybody want to work with you if the thing you have is no good? You make sure that you believe that you can do it and that what you have is worth it. And then you say, I'm so happy to be here for you because this is for you.
Whatever you do it with the utmost compassion. Think that not everybody has to be a debater, not everybody has to be a lawyer, not everybody has to be a politician. I think that everybody just doing what they feel like they want to do and doing it with the utmost compassion can produce change in ways that we've never seen. I think that, sometimes people, they'll do activities or they'll do hobbies, but they don't do it to a level of I need it. They're not hungry for it. I think that when somebody becomes desperate, even if you're not winning, on a level of you just want it because for the love of the game, you begin to open doors that you didn't even think of. Because there were times where I wasn't winning tournaments. There were times where I was going back. I think the first tournament for my high school career, I had won one round out of the 5 in the pre-eliminations, and I got washed that tournament.
Ouch.
Next week, I was still doing preparation because it was I just wanted it. And that's sometimes what you need.
Dreams light the way, but it's the work that turns them into reality. The early mornings, the late nights, the moments when no one's watching, but you keep going anyway. These are the voices that remind us what it really takes to build something meaningful.
Don't try for 100%. Try for 60% instead of 100. If you try and reframe your mindset in, I'm going to do this, but I'm only looking for a 60%. The other thing is expectation. We expect so much, and when we don't achieve it, we get disappointed. But if we don't have any expectation, you will not be disappointed. So then you will get the motivation to continue. If you get disappointed, what happens? You have the fear of failure, and then you start beating yourself up. I'm not good enough. That didn't look good. I didn't look good on that video. My hair is not done. I don't have makeup. And then what happened tomorrow? You didn't show up. So don't try for perfection. Once you start, just have no expectation of the outcome. As you get better, the expectation will automatically happen.
We all have implicit bias, and we have to first understand that we have this bias. Accessing emotional intelligence is first and foremost about being willing and intentional to set your goal to look at your emotional intelligence, to be honest that maybe I'm not so strong in this area. I had to work on my impulsivity, and I had to be intentional about it, because in my case, impulsivity actually affected a lot of my life, in particular, my decisions and my money. It's about looking at yourself, examining yourself. And I always say to people, be real, be authentic. Don't be afraid to own that you have a weak area, because we also have amazing, great strengths that we can capitalize on. When the coach appears to be flawless and up on a pedestal, that's much harder for the client to relate to them. And so we have to also be relatable.
The tenacity that it takes to accomplish anything, any goal that you're mobilizing towards, is something that you really have to be okay with in the music industry, to know that it's going to be doubly as hard. Much like entrepreneurship, that is what it is to be a musician in this day and age. A lot of people just say like, oh, you just got to get lucky and get your song on TikTok and let it go viral. Yeah, that's not being a rock star. A rock star is a very pejorative statement where it crosses boundaries. In business, you can be a rock star. You can be the person that gets up early, goes to bed late, is accountable for their actions, is accountable for their words. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. They don't just talk about it, they are about it. When they say, yo, I got to work on that project, I've got to get it done. And then hell or high water, it gets done. That's the rock star.
There have been a lot of days when I don't want to be consistent. There's been a lot of days where I don't want to get up and I don't want to do the work. And it's taken me some time to get to the place of what I call discipline. Motivation is one thing, and it is fleeting. I can be motivated today, and tomorrow I could have something that totally derails me and is going to demotivate me for the rest of the week. So motivation doesn't last. But if I commit myself to being disciplined, this is what I'm going to do every morning at 4:30. That is my discipline. That's what gets me through. I'm not always going to be motivated. And in order to do the things that I want to do and to live the life that I want to live, I have to maintain discipline. Period.
You have to start with a business plan. That's the most important thing. At least initially, you got to put it in writing. You have to set out your expectations, your ideas, and map that out, because once you have your business plan, then you can use that as your guidebook. I think when you write things down, you're connecting it with your brain and you are putting your ideas on paper, and you keep going and saying, where am I right now? Where is this part of the business? It's a good way to self-check. As I've moved through the last year, I go back to my business plan, update it, reread it again, and make sure that I am meeting those points, or at least getting things on the board to get to that place.
Once you put in the work, the next step is stepping forward, fully as yourself. This is where courage meets authenticity. These moments remind us that the path to impact isn't found in blending in. It's found in owning your story, your quirks, and your power.
pursue something you like, you have to discover you like it. And I think that's where a lot of business people struggle with. We don't know where our passion lays till we try it. So I think first step and the most important is actually try different things and see your internal reaction on.
It's not necessarily a bad thing or a negative thing to use the word weapon in this context. You could say weapon is a tool. Usually we think of that as a tool used for bad things. But if you think of it in the realm of empowerment, then suddenly a weapon is an empowering tool to uplift, to protect. So exactly. And so, bullying, of course, is an attack. And so part of the response really is that protection. And there's a very, very basic movement in flamenco that it sort of creates a shield in front of your personal space. You reach your arms up and then you grab at the top with your hands. So I'll do it in front, like you grab like this. And what you're grabbing is your troubles, whatever troubles you're facing, like grabbing that bullying, grabbing it. And then from here, yes, exactly, see? But isn't that empowering when you just did that, Jeff?
It does something internally.
Right, exactly. It does something because you just moved your hand and you grabbed onto something that was attacking you, right?
Yeah,
and so you grab onto it and pull it in front of yourself, but you put your arms like this, but more in front of your chest, right? And I show the kids from the side, it's you're not like this. You don't grab it and hunch over it and not like that. It's here. Aha. So you're holding it out here and you're still protecting your personal space in here, but you've still got this. Ooh, you've got the trouble, right? The bullying, not necessarily the bully, but the bullying, right? The act in your fists. And you can be strong here. And you can still project with your excellent flamenco posture, you can still project up and over this shield and communicate, say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's maybe develop a relationship instead, but from this place of protection, feeling safe, and feeling confident and strong from here.
I don't care what you do. If you tell me what you do, that is not my first interest. My first interest is who you are. What type of person are you? What do you like to do? How can we have some actual connection? And if we establish a personality connection, charisma, things that you do when you make friends, then I will decide whether or not I want to be around you. After that, if you tell me what you do and I feel like our paths can cross, then we can figure out a way to work together. I want the first priority to be who you are and if I like you or not, based upon that, do you catch my interest? Not what do you do, what can you do for me?
I think this is probably true with a lot of people is when you are dealing with something stressful or depression or chronic illness like I'm dealing with, it can be really easy to get pigeonholed into this belief of I'm the only person who's experiencing this and I'm so alone. And while music or art or anything, it can't take away the pain or anything like that, but it can remind you that you're not alone. And sometimes that's the only thing we have is each other. Cheesy as it sounds. When I put myself out there, especially if I'm performing it live, and I look out into the audience and see reactions of people genuinely connecting, it reminds me that this is not just my own little world. I'm not the only person in the world dealing with this. Other people deal with this too. And so if they can get up and go and take every day one step at a time, then so can I.
They all had their dance gear, their dance shoes, and here I am in sweats and Hoka sneakers and trying to fit in. One of the dancers said, "And who are you? How do you fit into this?" And I said, "I'm one of the dancers." And almost in unison, all of them were like, "No way, that's amazing, it's great." They all treated me with respect, encouragement, positivity. Like whenever we would go through part of the routine and we'd finish, they would always say, "Great job, Chris," and give me the accolades. Even the choreographer was the same way. And he says, "Chris, you're a dancer." By the end of the day, it was decided. I was knighted, country line dancer or whatever. And I didn't get any sort of attitude, no judgment. It was all positivity, and that helped make the experience a good one.
As teachers, we are encouraging our students to collaborate. We're encouraging them to work with a partner, work in small groups. So they certainly can work by themselves, absolutely. But trying to take them, especially the introverted students, out of their comfort zone a little and push them into situations where they're collaborating with other students. I find myself doing the same thing as a learner in the entrepreneurial space, having no shame in not knowing, asking those questions, trying to figure things out, sometimes by myself, sometimes in collaboration with others. I like to think that I'm modeling that just the same as I am expecting my students to do it in the classroom, solving problems in a collaborative nature with other people.
Behind every bold move and every breakthrough, there's a deeper layer, the grit, the creativity, and the heart to shape who we become. These moments reveal the human side of the journey, the setbacks, the soul work, and the relentless belief that even in the struggle, there's beauty.
The best wine is the wine that you like. That's it. Some people in this culture in America decide to check what is a number that somebody put in this specific wine. The best value is your palate. That's it. It's yours. If you like this specific wine, great. That's it. Of course, every single wine has that specific characteristic. And actually behind each bottle has one history. This is the magic of the wine. But it's your decision. It's your palate, it's your value. And step by step, you can try to understand better the industry.
Always remember, you only live once. You've only got one crack around this big rotating ball of mud or whatever it is. Go for it with both feet. You may find you like it, you may find you don't. You may be very bad at it first, but so what? If it's something you enjoy, just go for it and stick with it.
You're not alone. You are not alone. There are other people that are your age, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older, whose condition is maybe a little bit worse than yours, maybe a little bit not as bad, but they have these struggles too. You're absolutely not alone. Those same people, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older, they got through their challenges. They got through their problems. They got through their issues. There are several stories you can point to in history and contemporary history of people that have achieved great success despite their diagnoses. They got through their struggles. They got through their challenges. And if they got through them, you can too.
Look at myself. I'm breaking all the barriers from my generation. I come from Guyana, South America. Women don't speak up. Women don't come out in public. You don't share the stories that I've shared. You don't do those things. You tell me like 5 years ago I'd be an author. I'm like, yeah, right. Who the heck says that? There's no author in my family. Why would I go do all these things? I didn't realize I was breaking the barrier. I didn't know any of that. These things happen because my intention, once I heal, the floodgate open, and it shows me all the things that I can stop saying it's not good enough for me. Because the world is an unlimited place that I can go.
It's easy to say, just go for it. But the reality is, when the time is right, and when all the things fall into line, when the space is there and the financing is there and the support is there, that's when you do it. I think that if you are fearful of doing something, there must be a reason for that fear. Maybe I'm not qualified enough, or maybe I don't have the means to do it. But if you have the means, if you have the ability, if you have the support, if you have the family and the friends who really want you to do it, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that it doesn't work, but you learn something so that the next time you do it, it's better.
Ladies and gentlemen, I completely turned my life around. I became the picture of health. Basically changed entirely. I quit smoking. I adopted a lifestyle of health and fitness. I've transformed my physique into a top elite percentage of the men my age. I have run 34 marathons around the world. I'm an OCR athlete. That's very endurance related and very physical. And I'm also a best-selling author of Savage Resilience, Conquer Adversity and Be Your Own Hero.
Every journey leaves a mark. Legacy isn't just about the big moments. It's written in the decisions we make, the people we uplift, and the courage to reinvent ourselves again and again. These are the stories that remind us why the journey matters.
You're your only competition out there. Everyone is running the same marathon of life, but they have different motivations than you. They have different priorities than you. They have different financial situations. They come from a different background. They are not your competition. You are your competition. Your ability to get down the road is the only thing you need to worry about. It's your pace, your life, not this person over here, not that person over there. It's you. Your journey, your pace within your means.
It's never too late to be what you might have been. In other words, at any age, at any level of health or challenges, don't ever think it's too late, because you can always start. Just because you're in your 50s, overweight, out of shape, suffering from an injury or two, there's no reason you can't reinvent yourself and your life. I just want people to know that we fall, we break, we fail, but then we rise, we heal, and we overcome.
I was driving on the road one day, and I think many of us go through our entire lives saying, what's my purpose? Why am I here? What's the meaning of life? And many people, they don't answer that question, ever. It's something they think about, and they're like, nah, it's too big, it's too complex. I'll never understand. As I was driving down the road that day, it dawned on me, and it seemed so clear, and it seems so approachable. And when I think about writing the book, when I think about speaking on stage, when I think about becoming a coach, every single one of those things has to do with transforming lives. And I transformed my own life many times, from quitting smoking to transforming physically to transforming financially to jumping off a cliff and quitting my job. I've all done it through the prism of transforming lives. And when you know that's your purpose, everything hits different.
25 episodes, dozens of voices, countless lessons. This show began as a way to share stories of resilience and success. But along the way, it's become something more. It's become a community, a reminder that no matter where you are on your journey, it's never too late to dream bigger, work harder, and stand fully in your truth. As I celebrate another milestone for this show, I'm filled with gratitude for every guest, every listener, and every moment that's led here. The marathon continues, and the best chapters are still ahead. This moment isn't the end, it's a turning point. Everything we've built together has led to what comes next, and I can't wait to share the next chapter of Savage Success with you.